Rise and shine, family. So listen, it just hit me like when birds fly south, they're not actually flying south, right? That's the direction that man created to describe something. But they know where they're flying, right? But are they conscious of it? Like I'm walking through this park, all these trees and stuff, right? And I'm just seeing nature do what it does during spring. But is it conscious of it? Is it saying, hey, it's time, let me start back producing? Is it conscious? Like, is it self-aware that it's doing this? I just saw a tree back there. It had been, the bark had been knocked off of it and sap had grown up in the spot, kind of like, sap works like our blood. It coagulates and builds a scab around the tree, right? But the tree isn't conscious of producing that sap, right? Just like we're not conscious of that blood actually rushing to our wounded area to coagulate and heal it and build a scab around it and obviously create new skin in that area, sometimes to the point where you can't even notice it. Or the way our bodies regenerate on the inside as far as healing itself when we change our diets. We're not consciously doing this. The body just does it, right? So I don't know, I think about how much control we don't have, how we pretty much are just like someone occupying this vehicle, so to speak. And that's why I do what I do. And I say that because many of us are not conscious in the vehicles that we occupy. And my goal is to try to put your consciousness back behind the wheel. And you know how we say in religion, Jesus take the wheel, but for so many of us, you really gave your will to a character that you never met in your life. I did it too. And I know it's W-H-E-E-L, but I'm saying W-I-L-L. So take your will back, right? I'm trying to put you back behind the automobile, right? This vehicle that we driving. Are you conscious inside of that vehicle? Because you can go through life, doing what you do, repeating what you see without thought. And that's what most of us have done. That's what most of us do until we actually give thought to what we do and why we do it, right? What are roses? Of course, it's a flower, but it's also considered romantic. But that's something we were taught, right? So even if you're non-religious, you still may believe that flowers are romantic, right? Someone hands them to you. At least they thought it was romantic, so you would receive it as such. But the truth is they're just flowers, right? And I don't say just flowers because flowers are beautiful and they play their part just as much as we do. None of us are more important than the other, right? But why kill a flower? Why kill a plant just to hand it to someone? But we never saw it like that. So again, we play a part and we continue to recreate this, and it's something that we do. Diamond rings. They're not really valuable, but we buy them and they're seen as something that means a lot, right? Someone buys you a diamond ring, they must really care, right? And they must, right? They did spend a lot of money for it. That's a sacrifice. But in reality, diamonds are not valuable. This is our perception. This is our matrix, right? So when I say you get back behind the vehicle, it's being able to see the things that you get back behind the wheel, so to speak. It's you beginning to see the things from a real perspective, your perspective, not someone else's, not just going with the flow. If that makes sense. But anyway, just something to think about. If we could all have our consciousness back and all be in total awareness of what we're doing, what's going on around us, we would work together. We would build together. We would find one common goal, and despite our differences, we would come together and we would see that common goal through. But instead, we're not conscious. We go with the flow. Someone makes us mad, we retaliate. We see buying black as synonymous with buying cheap. Just things we were trained to do. It's not about any of that. It's about building one another. Learning that we're all just beings outside of this word they gave us, human, right? Because birds don't call themselves birds, and I don't think they worry about that. Like, I don't think, like, when a caterpillar goes through the metamorphosis and becomes a butterfly, I don't think he really cares what just happened. I often wonder, how does he know to just spread his wings and fly? Like, how does he know that, man, his whole life just changed? But maybe his consciousness did too. Maybe he's not conscious. Or maybe he doesn't care. It doesn't care. So I feel like outside of saying who we think we are, who we were taught to be as far as ego, what we were given, human being, male, female, black, white, all of this silly stuff that really means nothing, right? If you could just see yourself as just a being, someone, life, we could come together. Divide and conquer. You can't just conquer, you must divide first. You can't just build, you gotta come together first, right? We gotta do this thing in reverse. In order to conquer, they divided. So this means if we come together, we will no longer be conquered. Be evolution, be the change that you wanna see, and no candle loses its flame from lighting another. Peace.